Welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the brilliance that is unique to you. Quantum Therapeutics offers solution for C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. In this journey with us, we hope to reignite your curiosity around what is possible. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance. Welcome back to Turn Illness into Brilliance, and I'm back here with Vanessa LaRochelle, and I'm Cherie, Doyen, your host, and we're going to start really focusing in on breaking down some of the terms that are used often in our bubble, right? And as we spoke before, on both sides of the fence, a lot of these terms mean nothing tangible.
No, really empty meaning, definitions, who knows, just words that are thrown out there.
Nothing tangible. And, I think there ends up being a lot of blame and shame because we're given these airy words and we're supposed to do something about it, but there's nothing but air that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's right. For years, I found almost just making light of dissociation. Like, oh, here we go again. Don't want to deal. But
yeah, like it were a choice rather than, like an idea rather than an action.
Yeah.
And dissociation is the backbone of quantum therapeutics, right? It is the backbone thought. And, it was the catapult for everything, for that psychiatrist to look at me and say, you're not in there.
Right.
And I don't know how to help you. And and it was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't even know. And, from there, everywhere I went, it was like dissociation. Like they would say a whole bunch of words and I would walk away and say, what are you saying to me? Like,
right.
You're not saying anything tangible for me to do to fix it. Right? And, also on the spiritual side. People would be like, I'm putting you back in your body. And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, where was I?
Yeah. And what is it that you're putting back in? What is the I? Like, and why are you putting me back in? Why can't I put me back in? Like, why do I not know where I am? Like, it was like on both sides.
And maybe I don't want to come back because I haven't resolved what I'm running from or why I'm dissociating in the first place.
Well, and a lot of people that started as when we were babies. So I was literally like, what are you saying to me? Like, I don't know what you're saying to me.
Right.
Like, I had no idea, except that people kept saying. Right? And then I started...
so much trauma is actually from the womb. Quite a few of my clients, that's where we had to go back to. So much trauma right from there.
Yeah. Well, and you think if they're having that much trauma in the womb, just think what it's like when they're out and crying.
It's just gone on for so long.
Yeah, right? And what if that child starts dissociating at 6 weeks, 6 months, a year? They don't know, right? And an adult can tell a before and after. Like a young child, there's no before, right? So there's not a knowingness. I mean, literally, when people were saying this stuff to me, I'm like, I need for you to talk to me in a tangible way and tell me what you're saying, because you're not saying anything that I can walk away and fix, right?
Right.
And what's real and true is dissociation is the separation of one thing from another. Literally, look it up on Google. So if that's true, then what is separated? That's tangible. If these people are telling me that they're putting me back in my body, which I don't think anyone can do for you, yeah? I don't believe that. But
No, we have to do it ourselves. That's another.
we have to do it ourselves. Like, that's just another idea. You can't.
Or it's a visualization exercise. It's not tangible.
But like, oh, I'm going to jump up and grab you as a psychic and put you back in your body. That did not work for me. Like, but I had people do it over and over, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what is happening. People think they're doing things to me, and I'm just like, I walk away. Then I feel shame and guilt because I didn't feel anything different, you know? So if we take that from a very tangible way, right? The separation of one thing from another, your astral body is the energetic version of your physical body. So if you are having an out-of-body experience, right, over here in the spiritual world, you are having an astral body experience, and your astral body is leaving your physical body. They are exactly the same thing, right?
Important to note, though, that we are tethered.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes people forget because they feel so dissociated, you know, but we're attached and we have that ability to come back.
Well, we always have an ability to come back. Yeah. And we just have to be shown. Now, what we have to understand is that in the astral travel world and the world of quantum jumping, they, you know, you should not do that alone.
That's a big.
You know, they always suggest that you have a partner to make sure you get back. Well, if you're doing that on your own, you have honed that skill already, lifetime after lifetime, and you probably got to where you didn't need someone to take you back then, but you started doing it this lifetime when you were 6 months old, and you forgot to come back, right? And yes, there's a part of you always tethered. I mean, we're always tethered. Even the fragments are tethered. Otherwise, we wouldn't be haunted by them, right? Because they're all part of you. Now, I don't see the tether as like a cord or anything. I always see it as more like a magnet, right? To where the molecules are wanting to come together like a magnet, right? And, you know, versus an actual cord.
Right.
In my mind. You know, those molecules are unique unto that being, and they want to be together, right? Now, what we notice a lot, especially in the early intake portion of the program, is, you know, a lot of people are having blackout moments, they're having drop attacks, they're having seizures, you know. Now what's interesting is most often they can't find seizure activity on a brain scan with these people, right? It's become such a degree of separation and fragmentation that there's not enough left. Again, with that magnet, right? The tether, you would still have enough left, right? But with the magnet, right, as you're leaving and fragmenting continually through a lifetime, there's not enough left to run your car, right? And the brain shorts out. You pass out, right? And it's always in those moments. And in front of me, I have had clients do that when I was working in person, and it was cool to be able to walk them back in and watch them come back, right? Now, what's interesting in the spiritual world is that, what does Edgar Casey do? Are those big channelers, right? They're dropping into trance. It's no different. It's just that this is happening to us, or seemingly so, right? Versus him choosing to go into trance. You know, there's no difference. We also have to understand that anything that you can see is going to have some sort of tangibility, right? Some sort of molecular structure, atomic structure, right? And, you know, we do know that astral bodies are visible to some people. Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, right? So we have to recognize that anything that has a molecular structure that we start dividing, right? The beginning, like say I take a vase of water, right? And I start dividing it out. Pretty soon what was in the original vase of water is not going to support the flowers I have in the vase. That's us in a very literal way, right? Our astral body is our life force. And when it fragments, that's real. Again, another airy fairy word that drove me crazy.
Fragmentation?
Yes, because over here they say, oh, dissociation, you fragmented. It's like,
Yeah.
What are you saying?
They'll use it at work, fragmented orders or this or that. And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? And then when you go over here into the spiritual world and they talk about soul fragments.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah, and it's like, well, it's not actually your soul that's fragmented.
That's right.
Right? Your soul does not fragment. Right? Your astral body houses your soul. Right? So it becomes more and more vulnerable the less astral body we have around it. That's true. Yeah.
That's when we'll find auras either collapsing or going so far out that we have no check and balance and we really don't feel great.
Well, we have to also realize that every energetic system is
intertwined.
Has a physical component. So our soul is like our heart, right? Our astral body is like our physical body, right? And within all that, there are a ton of systems.
Mm-hmm.
There are a ton of systems across the board. So yeah, your soul is not what is fragmenting. What is fragmenting is that astral body. And I love the McDougall.
Yeah, the 21
experiment, right? Yeah. Because in the McDougall experiment, this guy was like in the 1900s or something, and you know, he was a doctor, and he was recognizing that his patients lost, you know, an amount of weight at death that was unexplainable by the amount of physical fluid, right?
What could it be?
Yes, so there was weight that was lost. Now, he got kicked to the curb because that weight was different per person, which makes perfect sense if we're fragmented. Not everybody is going to have the same molecular weight to their astral body at that point. Now, we also have to understand that, I mean, for goodness sake, like there's not people, you know, people are different sizes as well. You know, my stepdad, who is, you know, this giant man, is going to need more astral body than my little tiny person, right? Just like, you know, if you've got a tank, it's going to need more gas than if you've got a little VW bug. Like, those kind of things are tangible and real, right? Yeah. So a little tiny person that's fragmenting out like that, that becomes a bigger thing too. I do believe that.
And actions too, we were talking about a little bit, we touched on empaths, right? And so if you're out there and you die, you're going to weigh a little bit less than had you been completely home, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those fragments need to be home, right? Another thing I notice in the spiritual world is they're always bringing their fragments back, and they go and play with them, and they, go roll around in the grass, and I'm like, why are you doing
Yeah.
that? Like that is not okay.
Home.
Yeah.
Right.
Home is you, not around you. So I'll have like healers come in to work with us, and they'll be like, I've done all this work, and I'm like, they are you. They are molecules of you. You should not be sitting in a room with 27 fragments of you.
Right.
They need to be in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to be in you and with you. And I was working with a woman the other day that was like, well, if I bring her back, then I can't go play with her. And I'm like, take her out for an ice cream today. Here.
Yeah. If she's home,
go play.
Molecularly invested. And that's what I love about this program too. It's the bringing things in line, like acting through integrity. Because you're not acting in integrity when you're fragmented or dissociated. It's impossible.
It is impossible.
So
and I know so many of us think we are, and we cannot be. Right? We cannot be. You're not trustworthy if you're fragmented.
That's right. To yourself.
To yourself or anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because you may say yes to something today, and tomorrow forgot you even said yes, and
exactly.
And make a completely different choice. We do that.
We do. We do.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for being here. I love having these conversations with you.
It's super fun.
Yeah. And, grab up your copies of, the Chronicles of Tigwa.
I have Chronicles. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's in screenplay form right now, so we're looking at a movie, yeah? And I've held true to the complexity of that journey. We don't live as Cinderella, right? We don't have one thing, and then the knight in shining armor comes by, and no, that is not what our kids are living.
Right. And such an expired tale and fantasy that we have to stop pitching to children.
We have to stop pitching it, right? And the grown-ups need to remember.
Yeah.
The grown-ups need to remember that we remember, right? And that complexity changes lives, sometimes forever, if they can't find their way out. Until now. To turn illness into brilliance, where we take, all those amazing experiences, those out-of-body experiences, those visions, everything that has worked to keep this child alive and is wrecking adulthood, right? We learn to take that and put it into action for creating a new and different life today. PTSD, C-PTSD, it is not a life sentence, right? It is not. You can be completely free of it, right? So come join us, right? Thanks for tuning in for Turn Illness into Brilliance. Now we go live every Sunday at 10 a.m. And on behalf of myself and the Quantum Therapeutics team, we want to thank you for tuning into Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the unique brilliance that is you. Quantum Therapeutics for rapid results for resolution to C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. Today, you can choose to schedule your call for freedom.